So this is video number 1. I'm going to start making a lot more entries than this. But for now, I guess really what I want to say is what the point of these videos will be. And mostly it's to get my thoughts out into the world in a way that people can experience them, can kind of deal with them, can challenge them in ways that might help me or might be informative to them. And one of the things that I know I want to accomplish is just to get people thinking, and it doesn't matter if they agree with me. In fact, I really don't care if they agree with me because I know the things that I believe in, and it's not going to change whether or not other people agree with me. So what I want is for people to watch these videos and to get thinking about their world and about the reality around them and the way that they can change it. Videos aren't the only way that I'm getting my thoughts out there. I'm also starting to post more on blogs. I'm just putting things up on Facebook, talking to people directly. But one of the reasons that I want to do this is because I know that there's a certain power to actually seeing someone talk, to seeing someone say the words, that doesn't really transfer into blogging or into Facebook. And in blogging and Facebook, I have the time to sit down and write, to kind of perfect the message to a certain extent. But even then, there's still something lacking in it. And I feel like the more avenues I explore in getting what I think out there, the more available I become to just a wider variety of people. And I really think that's something that I really value. I think one of the important things about this video series to keep in mind is that I'm not presenting myself as being objective. I don't believe that people really can be objective. I don't really think that people should be objective. When you're objective, you start to ignore the personal aspect of it, and everything that we talk about, well, everything that I'm talking about here in these video series is going to be revolving around real people's lives, around real experiences. And you can't objectify that. When you objectify that, you take out the human factor. You can look at slavery and say, oh, well, you know, people at the time thought slavery was okay. And that's being objective. That's looking at all the sides of the story. But the reality is that slavery was cruel, that slavery was inhumane, that it dehumanized people. And you can't ignore the subjective aspect of it. If you take out the personal experience, then you take out the real pain and the real suffering. And that's what we should be worried about. That's what we should be talking about. Throughout the course of this video series, you'll hear me refer to the past and history a lot. And I want to make it clear that there are two ways that I can talk about the past. The first is that it helps explain how we got to where we are now. But the second is that it doesn't determine where we can go from here. There are definitely ways in which the past can limit what we can do, but it never fully determines what we are capable of. All of us are human. We all have an opportunity to think about this world, to act upon it, and to change it. I'm absolutely certain that there are going to be people who don't agree with the things that I say, and I welcome that. I want that. But part of the reason of having this first video, which is serving more as an introduction than as any real presentation of the ideas that I have, is that I want people to understand the context of why I'm doing this. I don't want you to feel like I'm forcing you to think what I think. I don't think that's right. I don't think that that's how people should interact. I want this to feel more like a dialogue, more like I'm eliciting responses from you and you share those responses with me. You engage in critical thought about this world, which means that I have to be willing to challenge the things that I believe in, and you have to be willing to do the same. Nothing in this world is perfect. See, everything about this world is just how we see it, how we are in relation to it. It's about perspective. So you can't have one answer for how to do things. You can't have one answer for how to think. And what's important is that we're constantly questioning ourselves, because when we assume we're right, then we become unwilling to change the way that we think, and the world is constantly changing. Even if we have an accurate description of the world as it is, the moment that we have that description, the world changes. The world doesn't stay the same, so that description can't stay the same. The way that we think about the world and the way that we act in this world has to be changing constantly. We'll never achieve perfection. Perfection isn't something real. It's an idea. And striving for perfection is good, but we can never be satisfied with having reached it. We always have to be critical of where we are. We always have to be making sure that we're making changes for a better future. So this video series isn't about me displaying a perfect idea for how this world should work. It's about displaying my ideas for how the world should work. And I'm going to change over time. The things I say won't always be the things that I believe in. But when I say them, I do believe in them. And now I'm willing to question myself. I'm willing to see if there's a better way out there, if there's a way that aligns more with reality. But what I want to make sure is that my audience out there, the people who watch these videos, are also thinking that way. Because they don't have to change the way they think, but they have to be willing to consider the possibility that they should.